Given what previous generations have been through, do we, with our relatively comfortable and peaceful lives in the West, need to embrace Stoicism? Is it time to bring back the stiff upper lip and grow a pair? Rebecca?
No. And also, seeking help and support for your mental health is not the opposite of Stoicism. So I have generalised anxiety, I had very mild postnatal depression, and I've had OCD throughout my life since I was a child. None of those things mean that I don't have to try, that I don't have to go to work, that I don't have to clean my house, that I don't have to be a good parent. All it means is that I have to be very careful that I go to therapy regularly every week, that I make sure that I move my body every day, that I try to drink water regularly, eat a vegetable. I have to take better care of myself, and I have to work hard to take good care of myself because my brain does not function perfectly, especially if I do what I really want to do, which is sleep all the time, smoke 20 Marlboro Lights a day and drink 9 bottles of wine a week.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you ever need company.
Yeah, it's a really fun weekend, but it also makes me a bit mad, so I have to do things I don't want to do.
Yeah,
and please let's not forget that the biggest killer of men under 45 in this country is suicide, and the people who are most likely to be stoical are men, particularly in that bracket.
So I hear what you're saying, and you've outlined some issues that you've faced and continue to face, over which you've, prevailed very successfully, which is a great, great achievement, great credit to you. But that would make you a candidate for mental health support. The question here is whether or not we're telling youngsters that, if they're just a bit blue one day, that somehow they need medication or they need counselling or that they've got mental health issues. The bottom line is that life is suffused with pain, difficulty, challenges. It's just, we've lived through 2 world wars. People have brought up kids, single-parent families. We've been through an awful lot of privation as a species, and you just wonder whether this generation are getting a bit soft.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that people suffered more before. When people came back from the Second World War with shell shock, they were genuinely destroyed from the inside out, and there was not enough support for that. I think we all agree that some people need mental health support. The question mark is what you expect people to be able to tolerate without any support. Personally, I don't think medication is often the answer. Usually, therapy, good nutrition, sunlight, moving your body, those things will do it.
Sure.
What's important is not to tell people, if you feel a bit sad, you can just give up, lie in bed, watch films, order Deliveroo and feel bad. That is not how you treat mental health. But you don't have to go softly, softly stroke your hair to say that mental health is real and people need help.
Christine, is it an industry, is it a cult now, a religion, mental health?
Yes, I mean, obviously everything that Rebecca has said is true, and some people have very serious mental health issues, and nobody underestimates that. But it has also become a cult industry. I mean, every celebrity, I've had all this trauma and I've got all this going on in my life, and people are encouraged. You mentioned social media. People are encouraged to sort of let it all hang out. I mean, Prince Harry needing support dogs. I mean, what? I mean, it's just absurd. He's one of the leading advocates of it. And there's barely a court case goes on where the barristers for the defence say, oh, he's got anxiety problems and he's got depression and he's got all sorts of mental health issues. It's just a way of trying to get people off. If you've got a villain you're representing, it's a very good wheeze. But I just think it's an excessive card to play, and too many people in the public eye play it, and an awful lot of youngsters seem to think that everybody has ups and downs in life. We all do. Everybody has ups and downs. Most days don't go by without people.
Life is difficult.
Life is very difficult indeed. Life is tough. Marriage is tough. Life is tough. Work is tough. Everything's tough. You have to deal with it. And I think it's become too easy for people just to say, oh, I need counselling and I have trauma and I have this, that and the other. And by the way, you haven't asked me if I'm OK this evening.
Yes, exactly. Well, no one ever asks you if you're OK.
No, I know.
And that's because you're the great British battle axe. You're the strong one, looking after Neil. But you've, and I mentioned earlier, you've had your ups and downs, and there was the bankruptcy, and you've lost your, you're worried. You nearly lost the roof over your head.
We did.
Careers.
We did lose the roof over our head.
You rolled your sleeves up.
Yeah.
You became a comedy double act at the Edinburgh Festival. You became a big reality star.
Where we first met.
And now you've reached a crescendo. You're on the same TV network as Mark Dolan, John Cleese and Nigel Farage.
And Calvin.
And Dan Wootton.
Calvin and Rebecca.
Mr. Dan Wootton, Michelle Dewberry. I
mean, I don't want to be attacked for underestimating people who have serious mental health problems. Of course they do, but I think it is, in this day and age, it is too easy for people just to... It's a sort of catch-all excuse, sometimes for bad behaviour or not wanting to go to work.
Well, Calvin, I just worry about a generation of young people who have been told that they're victims, that we should feel sorry for them, that they've somehow got this cross to bear.
Yeah, of course. And of course we should be compassionate to people who genuinely have serious mental health problems. But the problem is now that everyone has a minor mental health problem. Everyone is self-diagnosing as having some kind of deficiency, as if there is... And Rebecca said it herself, I don't want to undermine what you said, but my brain's not perfect. None of our brains are perfect.
No, but I do have a minor mental health. I literally do.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm saying everyone does. This is the problem now, because it's become...
But we do.
But have we
Because it's become-
fetishising it?
We are, because it's become a social currency.
Why would I fetishise it?
I don't
It's
think you are, but I
inconvenient.
think some people on Twitter, they're announcing... I mean,
enjoy it.
I've seen celebrities tweeting that, hey, guys, just to let you know, I'm having a really tough day today.
Yes.
And we're supposed to applaud that. It's like, oh, well done you.
I'm battling my demons, you know, I need help.
Applaud
Think of
it. It's nobody's asking.
Why
I'm just
tweet
asking
about
to be
it? It's like a badge of honour, isn't
Why
it?
am I saying it here? Because it's true, it's relevant, it's what we're talking about.
But it's like intersectionality. It is the social currency, especially on social media. And I think it especially affects young men, because for so long we've been telling men that being an alpha male or being masculine is toxic, and actually they need to be more effeminate and more emotive and express your emotions. And so they've gone from one extreme to the other. Men can no longer be just men. Even saying man up nowadays is seen as a negative
you
impact
can't
on
say
someone's
it.
mental
Well, I
health.
think that's
And I think men need sport, men need competition, men need to feel like the provider and to be the alpha male. These
And
are
to
all
be
good
tough.
things. And to be tough, and that should be okay.
That's not a man-woman thing. People
No,
need
it
to.
is.
People need to be resilient. People need to compete. People need to move their bodies. That's not a man thing. Women also need to do that. It's important.
But I mean, it
for anyone.
ties in with the issue of race, or the critical race theory, which kind of casts anybody of colour as a victim. And you just wonder whether there's
Everyone's a
parallels.
victim somehow.
There's
Either
parallels
your
in the
class,
mental health
your race,
sphere.
your
Well,
gender. Everyone has an
everyone
aspect
is.
of themselves that they can claim victimhood mentality over. And because of the intersectionality period, we're all looking to climb that ladder and be the most victim, to get the most social currency, to get the most reward, to get the most clicks, likes, or to get the most approval from our peers. That's what it's all
I mean,
about.
I'd love to be on
Most
that list, that
people-
hierarchy. I get cold sores. I don't know where that... Does that buy me any credit?
You're a comedian. That brings
I'll give you something
Yeah,
for
I've
that.
got a slightly sore lower back. I don't know.
People overthink things, they overanalyse things.
Yes.
Rebecca, last word.
I don't think any of this is a choice, but I think, again, they are not one or the other. It is not weak to want help. If you're taking responsibility for it, you're doing the right things, you're looking after your brain, you also have a right to acknowledge that sometimes it's difficult for you.
Oh, well, that's it. Look, on this show, nothing's off limits, and actually I had a really heated and lively debate with my incredible team today, and we all agreed it's a complex issue. But the headline is, if you're going through a tough time, there's always someone to talk to. You can speak to a Samaritan's volunteer by calling them day or night on 116 123. The number is on your screen right now. There it is, 116 123.